Live from Brooklyn. What is this, Lady Ada?
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Show and Tell. It's me, Lady Ada, with me, Mr. Lady Ada, on camera control. We're broadcasting live from from Brooklyn.
I know, 15 years.
Yeah, 20 years.
At least.
From Brooklyn, but we've got all of our friends here with us. Doesn't matter where we're at. The makers are in the heart. We're going to check in with some folks from Particle.
Yeah.
And then we're going to check in with some Adafruiters and maybe DigiKey and other folks in the community. Everyone's welcome. We're in Discord. Come on by. We'll be broadcasting for the next 25 minutes and see what everyone's showing and telling, starting with Particle, our friends Zach and Mohit.
Right. Hello. I hear you got some tachyons to show.
Yeah, what's going on here? What's new from Particle World?
We got particles from the future. Tachyon, which is Mohit's got one doing some actual fun stuff. But this is our new single board computer. So we have jumped from microcontrollers into octa-core CPU with 5G and fancy single board computer to do a bunch of cool stuff, robotics and drones.
What's the processor on it?
It is a Snapdragon. So it is it's called a QCM 6490. Which is the same chip that's in this Fairphone 5. So think mid-tier smartphone. It's also the same, it's basically the same thing that's in a Samsung Galaxy A series. And so lots of power, and it's designed for, all the smartphone-y stuff that you get, right? Because it's then designed for low power kind of stuff. Well optimized for a bunch of things is good, but then it's also sort of built for Android. And so Qualcomm did the cool work of upstreaming Linux, which they've never done, or at least not any time in the recent past. And so they're now embracing that. And so we're going to be running Ubuntu on it and taking a sort of Android smartphone thing and turning it into a Raspberry Pi single board computer. You can do whatever you want with it, kind of a thing.
That sounds really cool and very useful. I mean, I think people, we see a lot of times people actually talk to somebody who was doing product design at the playground, and he was like, oh yeah, we're making this robot and we're just using an Android single board computer to do the vision and the AI and the processing and the motor control. And I was like, why not Raspberry Pi? He's like, well, it's just Android gives you more control and capability over the deploying of deploying software, and people can use it. It's a little more user friendly. Because there's this well-known user interface that you get to expose to people.
Billions of phones,
Yeah, it's also hard. People have been using it for so long.
Yeah.
For phones.
Right. And it's there's a lot of things that you get out of the Android ecosystem because of that, because it's used as smartphones, and so you can repurpose a lot of that stuff. But then it also puts up these guardrails that are it's supposed to be a phone, and so if you're doing a thing that's an app, it's going to work very well for you. And if you're doing a thing that's I want to do GPIO controls and mix that in with some display and some camera thing, then you pretty quickly find yourself fighting the Android system.
Yeah.
And so then with Linux, you don't have all of those tools, but that's what we're going to be doing is a bunch of over-the-air software update stuff and the same kinds of things we do with microcontrollers, but we'll do for Linux systems.
So kind of the best of both worlds. You get the power of Android if you want it, but also the GPIO low-level capabilities. If you're hey, I'm happy to just do C or Python work and have that run on it.
All right, so I think this is the first live demo on streaming in some way.
Yeah, so what is
show
this?
us something.
I think that's correct.
Yeah.
Show something cool.
Show something cool.
Mohit, what do you got going on?
So this is the one of two tachyons that exist in the world in its actual functional form factor. So this is very, very precious. One in the United States and one in Asia. So this is, I guess, the only one.
Mine looks like it works.
they're intertied? I don't know what's the word.
Entangled?
Entangled.
They're entangled, yes.
Yeah. And so, in terms of user experience, this is I would say the only 5G connected single board computer in a Raspberry Pi form factor ever. We are used to seeing development boards. Okay, so sorry. This has a Feather, by the way. We use Feather a lot in our early development. So this is an early, we call it the big board, allowing us to do a bunch of I/O testing and whatnot. And historically, big silicon companies make evaluation boards like this. So you can't deploy this, you can't use this, you can only evaluate on it.
Yeah.
And so with the idea of like particle flavor is like, can you take something that is clunky, archaic, big, the big guy stuff into something that is user friendly? And one of the first projects I thought, which is like an obvious thing in my mind, is a cyber deck. Couldn't I take a display that was designed for a smartphone and connect that to a Tachyon? Now I have a truly mobile cyber deck that runs Ubuntu or Android or whatever you want to build with it.
Yeah.
I personally am very new to the whole Linux world, so I'm like still learning, trying to find
Love
ways.
device trees yet?
Yeah, I know. I did indulge in that 2 years ago, but now I have to like go back in. Like it's like a kind of a big shift for even particles to go from microcontrollers, real-time operating systems, to the whole new world of Linux and embedded Linux
Yeah.
and device management. So right
It's
now,
not like riding a bicycle at all. People are like, oh, once you learn to ride a bicycle, you never forget. Actually, with embedded Linux, I forget every single time. Like I sit down and I'm just like, I have to refer to a piece of like a text file of like, what commands did I run to get this working last time?
absolutely, I have like a Google Doc of just a cheat sheet. Like, I mean, and when you are typing and you're working on it, you're like, oh, obviously I'm going to remember.
Yeah.
And then 2 weeks go by, I'm like, you have to relearn everything. And so, as far as this board goes, there's a whole bunch of, you see UFL connectors for 5G connectivity. We need to figure out the antenna design, which is going to be a big part of the success of this board, is having an onboard 5G antenna. Right now, it's just hooked up over USB-C that does display over USB, so it's DP. And now I'm like doing it in a very different way by having DP over HDMI back to MIPI, but this interface directly would go onto the board as we get the drivers set up. And the fun thing is that it has built-in battery management, which means you don't have to have any clunky.
It's designed to run off of a single cell LiPo like every other cell phone.
Exactly, and since it's designed for cell phones, it's extremely efficient in terms of its thermal profile. So you don't need a forced cooling or even a heat sink when you're running it at full speed, which is going to be extremely convenient for building products inside enclosures or handheld cases. So that's the only thing I have running.
That's challenging.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
But you came in strong.
Exactly.
That's great. All right, so the big questions are going to be like, when it's going to be available, what's going to be the pricing, data plan, blah 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 blah. What are the things, and where can people find more about this?
Yeah, so we have it live on Kickstarter right now, which is fun because the last time we did a Kickstarter campaign was 2015. So this is like we're going back in time.
Yeah, the Techion's going forward in time and back in time.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's on Kickstarter. It's we still have some super early birds left at $149. And then it will. And
it comes with a cellular module built in, or so for $149 you're getting a single board computer, and you're getting like 5G or LTE cellular.
Yeah, you're getting octa-core CPU, RAM, flash. It's got flash on board, so you don't need 64 gigs of eMMC. And then we just added a $30 extra for 8 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of eMMC, so you don't have to deal with like SD card stuff.
Yeah.
It has the 5G. It has 5G and the antenna and everything. It's got Wi-Fi. It's got BLE 5.2 or Bluetooth 5.2. So like all the radios. And it's all you need, and then USB-C for like all the peripherals and stuff like that. And it'll have a
USB-C. That's actually really nice because it's like you said, it's like you can do DisplayPort. You can, like the modern kernels, the modern chips can really take advantage of the USB-C. They're not stuck with USB 2.0 speeds.
Yeah. So we took the space that usually goes for like all of the plugs, and we made that's the 5G antenna.
Yeah.
Which is honestly like, you can't see this probably particularly well because it's all black, but like it's like flex PCB. I think the final version is going to end up being a little bit different than this, but it's like a flex PCB wrapped around a 3D printed.
Oh yeah, I see. Oh yeah, you can see the traces on it. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so like 5G antennas are hard, and so we got to get into some like wild 3-dimensional stuff to.
Oh, is that a STEMMA QT quick connector on there? for I2C sensors.
Maybe we have a feature that we haven't announced yet.
I
can see them. That's the thing. I'm like,
you gotta watch out for her.
I know that part.
So I'm gonna back this. Good work. You got another one. So
and we'll ship them in January. Oh, and then the data plan. So it's got a 2 gig. So it's free cellular connectivity for telemetry. So like it's got a like megabyte scale cellular plan if you want to just do like remote monitoring and stuff. That's all free. And then you can get a 2 gig plan for $6.99 a month that you can like turn on and off whenever you want. It's got an eSIM in there, and so you don't have to like get a SIM card or anything. That's all baked in. Okay, well, special thanks to all the folks that are going to be on the show and tell, because we're going to go through them a little faster this week. We have
one question.
I would say check the Discord.
Oh, yeah,
there's a bunch of.
Oh yeah, we'll jump in and bring it up.
And thanks for coming by, and please come by with status updates as the Kickstarter ends, and as you get into shipping and more. Folks love updates. That's the best part of a Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
We will do that.
It's
great stuff.
Yeah. What's interesting is like all the display stuff you're doing. I mean, I'm working on an ICN 6211 board. It'll work great with your DSI output to drive, any parallel display, and then hopefully you'll get the DSI stuff working, and then you'll be able to plug in any low cost cell phone or tablet display, and you don't have to go through like 6 adapters. Like, oh, it's like HDMI to USB to HDMI to DisplayPort to MIPI to finally the thing you get.
Dongle life.
That stuff is never documented. It's such a nightmare.
This is one of the first interesting, cool hardware Kickstarters because of the chip shortage. Just really wrecked the idea of trying to plan something like this. So we're back, everybody. We're back.
It's coming back. Yeah.
All righty. Thanks so much.
Later, folks.
Okay, cool.
Alrighty. Scott, what you got going on?
Speaking of displays.
I'm in the weeds, but not on this. Let's go to something that's actually working. Knock on wood. Okay, so I've got this is a demo I showed on Deep Dive last Friday. So if folks want more information, check out the recording of the Deep Dive from last week. But what I've got here is I've got VLC. This is the VLC window that's capturing the output for from a Pico RP23, not a Pico, an RP2350 Feather. That we have the HSTX on. So what you're seeing right here is you're seeing 320 by 240. And this is our what I call the display ruler. So you can see it's got the QVGA thing. And this is 16-bit color, so we have to be smaller, but the actual output is 640 by 480. So if I pull up my code here and I quickly change it to 640 by 480, and then I'm going to drop the color depth down to 8 and hit save.
Beep, boop.
Boop, boop, boop.
Oh, neat.
It comes back. So what I've traded is I've got more resolution, so you can now see the parrot and the color chart.
And it's got this kind of cool like CGA 486 thing going on.
Oh yeah. That's where we're living right now. But this gives us higher resolution, right? So this is now 640 by 480, and I also implemented 4-bit. So this is the same resolution, but it saves you some more RAM.
Neat.
So the frame buffer is smaller, and you
Apple II
get
CGS.
less colors.
It's Apple IIc style.
And if that's too much RAM, you can do 2-bit, which is 2-bit grayscale. At 640 by 480.
You can still see the parrot. I mean, like the dithering looks good.
It's my favorite mode so far.
And then you can also do single bit.
Nice.
If you want to even have a smaller.
This will be great for the Mac Classic emulator.
Yeah, it's your hypercore player.
Yeah, so I'm excited about this. It's the HSTX is. I've not seen everyone talking about it for the RP2350, but it's quite neat. Like where I'm shrinking the frame buffer, and then the HSTX peripheral is the thing that's expanding it out into more bits for me.
Okay.
All right. Well, Friday is CircuitPython Day.
Yeah.
And we're going to be doing a bunch of talking about CircuitPython. So can folks expect to see some of this Friday?
If they want to. If you've no deep dives, I go on tangents. So if folks have questions
It'll be about build
any of
system
this
this
stuff,
week.
I'm happy to do that.
Watch
Oh my goodness.
Tangent go on tangents.
I will probably have a rant about weak and registration systems. So if you want to know about that, I just posted on my Mastodon about it.
Okay.
Trying to figure out like, why is everybody doing this thing that's really hard to debug? So.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Scott, and happy CircuitPython Day.
I'm glad the demo worked.
Yeah.
It worked great. Wonderful.
Alrighty. Anne, what you got going on this week? Oh, Anne, you are muted.
In my series of showing off classic hardware, I thought I'd pick a point between something like an old IBM and your current machine. So I dug out this monster laptop.
Wow.
This is a Workstation Dell laptop from 2008.
Diesel powered.
Yes, it weighs a whopping 8 pounds. So if you put it in your lap, it'll get a little toasty under here. But it used a Intel Core 2 Duo at 2.4 gigahertz, 2 cores. The display for 2008 was spectacular, 1920 by 1200. It was mainly used for CAD and video and other kind of workstation-y things. It has a NVIDIA Quattro graphics card, has VGA and
USB ports.
Yeah, look at all those ports. It has
cell phone. A modem
That's
as
where
well
the
as Ethernet.
that's where the gas goes.
VGA and DVI.
Exactly, and then here you'll even see a little bit. You get the FireWire port as long as the audio and the SD card. You get an express port slot and the a smart card reader.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah,
so. This is like definitely government issue.
Yeah, well, that's kind of the vintage government e-waste. Of course, DVD writer and stuff on this side. So
these would still be good for giving presentations and stuff. You know, it has like every port.
I think it's definitely useful firing it up for certain things. It sucks down power like nobody's business.
No, it's like the lights dim, but still.
Exactly. So I thought it'd be a treat to show this off. There's a link to the some more information if you go to my Twitter account on the display. You can read a little bit more about this vintage type of machine, and I better put it down before I break my wrist.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Okay. All right, thanks, Anne.
All right, thanks so much, Anne. Okay, next up we're going to go to Noe. What you got going on?
Hey, what's up? So this week we got just in time a 3D printed design. This is Blinka in her Ouroboros state, and there are 16 neopixels here to represent the 16 days in August. So this is counting down till CircuitPython Day. We're using a CircuitPy ESP32S2
Nice.
right here. So it's using Adafruit IO to be kind of the time server, and yeah, it's all done in CircuitPython, of course. So. Come Friday. Yeah, 2 more days until CircuitPython. So
we can use this
kind of
idea for any type of
countdown clock.
That was the idea. That was the goal. So you could make other countdown type clocks and more, and use something like Adafruit IO to get the time, and then have it display something.
Yep. So I just have these hot glued in the back there, and it all snap fits down here. So it's kind of nice.
All right. Well, happy CircuitPython Day, and looking forward to Friday together.
Yep. We'll be doing a special edition of 3D Hangouts on Friday, and we'll have this in the background.
Alrighty. Oops, sorry. Gonna keep going. Liz, what you got going on?
Hey, so super quick. I have a personal project I've been working on. I was doing some PCBA stuff for Adafruit. I had an idea for a project I wanted to do, which was I have a guitar pedal power supply that's 9 volt that then is using a buck converter to convert to 5 volt for USB. So then that means I can take my little like mini synths I have on my desk and easily power them rather than having like a bunch of cables going everywhere.
Good idea.
Yeah, so I'm using the vertical USB that we just put in the shop. And it's just this little guy. Yeah.
And those are neat power, the pink power plugs. Those are cool.
Yeah, I was excited. They had a pink one on JLC, so I went with that one.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah,
oh, this is great.
Yeah, just a little board like that.
Okay, well, thanks so much, Liz.
Cute.
And happy CircuitPython Day. See you
Happy
on
CircuitPython Day. Yeah, lots of stuff planned.
All right, JP, what you got going on this week?
just got a couple of quick shows and tells. One, I showed this last week, and it is now a guide that's in review, and it is the Instagram photo frame. And I made some updates to the script on Lamor's recommendation, so now it will every couple of hours go and check your Instagram account to see if any new photos have arrived and pop them up on there. I also have added some info about switching you over to a portrait from a landscape display. So that should be there soon. That's all run on a little Raspberry Pi. And then what I've got here, this is just like I was cleaning up stuff, and I came across my box that's labeled iPods, iPhones, and I decided
Oh,
to
yeah.
see
I
how-
want to get a box like that, but it's like the oldest. You're like, oh man, I can't even give these away.
It's good to check every once in a while if any batteries are swollen. One was, so that's scary, but I popped it out of there. But I came across a couple of these 6th gen iPod classics with a little click wheel, and I decided to look into getting an alternate firmware on there, because the biggest problem with these is you can't really get music onto them without dealing with iTunes and music and app and licensing. So if I just have some WAV files or OGG, Vorbis, or MP3 I want to put on there, I was like, there's got to be a way. And
Yeah, because they invented it to get around the MP3 patent, but now like MP3's out of patent. So
Yeah.
So what I'm recommending here is called rockbox.org. It's free. It's open source. It plays your stuff. You can just drag and drop over USB. And the coolest thing about it is if you head to settings and theme settings, you can totally change out your theme for something like Bones here. So let's go. I think I have to clear out the. Let me go back one.
well, this is like this is so contributed software.
Wait. Oh no. Where's the clear backdrop? Okay, so now we're actually back at the what it's supposed to look like. So now I can go into files. I've got our Bartle Beats album here. I can go in here and play these, and I've got like a totally rad new look.
Oh, that's so cool.
And very briefly, this will go a little quicker this time. I've got a theme. There's hundreds of them. I got a theme on here that I am dying to play the Matrix soundtrack on.
That's right.
Some green.
It's called Terminal, and look at it. Just look at it.
That's cool.
There was like, I remember in my dorm we had like a MPEG 123 player, and there was some control software that looked just like that, and it would just run in the background, and then people would add the playlist, and it would just like run all day.
Oh heck yeah! No, it's pretty cool, and there's a whole ecosystem of plugins and applications for it. There's FFT visualizers. There's all sorts of EQ
That's
things.
so cool. Yeah.
Use very high-end audiophile kind of stuff who really want to tweak around with their stereo separation and things like that, which is pretty neat. But I just want
to be good for like if you want to give something to like a kid and you're like, oh, I don't want to give you a full phone, but like you can just play your music and stuff.
Right, and you don't want to give them a thing that's strapped to Apple's ecosystem. This is just drag and drop.
Yeah.
As soon as you plug it in.
Yes, they don't have to have your account, because then it's like they accidentally buy like
no
every album like their favorite artist. So yeah, this is just like, okay, all your MP3s, you just drag them on.
And the cutest thing they implemented is when you plug it in your computer, it automatically goes into a USB HID where this becomes the volume knob on your computer, which is
cool. Cute.
Pretty great. Yeah.
And then how do you get files on?
It shows up as a drive. Yeah, it shows up as iPod, and so you can drag files on to your heart's content.
As it should be.
Yeah. No, it's pretty great. So go find your old iPods and check out rockbox.org. It's
go get your iPod box out.
Okay, well, thanks so much.
Brands, not just Apple. So.
And
all right.
We'll see you on Friday. Happy Python Day.
Python things. Bye.
Alrighty. Okay, we still have some more folks, and we'll go a little bit over. But if everyone keep it to like a minute or so, we can get to everybody in the new Ask an Engineer. Pedro, what you got going on?
Hey guys, happy CircuitPython Day. So this week's 3D printed project is a nice little simple display for showing up the wait times for your favorite theme parks. We saw a bunch of ads showing like this one that you could buy, but they were like charging by default like a subscription for $5, where it's like, dude, the thing is for free. So
no, you're already paying to go, man. It's expensive.
So it's like, how's the song go? Code play the open source way. So Liz made up a cool little code that just you can just grab the JSON from I think it's qtimes.com, and then you can just input your favorite theme parks, and it'll show.
This is perfect. It's like it's a round pipe portal. Love it.
Yeah.
So super simple. Qualia S3 that's running on there, and you can simply edit the JSON file and input whatever parks you want to go to, and it'll show all of the top 5. And 3D Hangouts will be on Friday, and we'll talk more about it then.
All right. Happy CircuitPython Day,
Yeah,
and
that's
see you
great.
on Friday.
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to go to David next. David, what you got going on?
Hey guys.
Hello.
Oh, can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yay. Okay, I come from the future. It's actually Thursday morning here in Australia.
Right.
Great.
Yeah, I'm coming from the future. Look, ever since I was a kid, and listen, just firstly, I love you guys. I love Adafruit.
Oh, thanks.
Thank you so much for all that you do for the community. Anyway, I've always been fascinated by circuit boards since I was a kid, and you know, I can remember when I was little, I'd look in the back of the television to see where all the little people were, and I'd see all these components and circuits and things. I go, oh my god! Anyway, so I love motherboards, circuit boards, and things like that, and I discovered Adafruit Noodles, and so I create paintings and artwork using circuit boards, LEDs, that type of thing. And I'll just show you, I'm very sorry about the quality. I'm just using.
No, this is great. You look great.
So cool.
Yep, this is the using the webcam on the laptop. Anyway, so this is I use a LCD display which has messages, and I use components out of computers. There's a little hard drive up there, and there's some noodles there that are animated. I use Arduino Mega to control all of the LEDs. So that's just an example of something that I've built. Now, if you just give me a moment, I want to show you another one as well. Just stand by.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So this is another one, and as you can see, it was quite a challenge to get the noodles to maintain their shape and not break them. If you put too much tension on them, they will actually snap on you. So there you go. That's another example of using circuit boards in an art form. So there you go. That's what I.
This is like totally a set design for the next Doctor Who. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. So
there's a pretty well known. It's not a gallery. It's just in Soho, where we used to live and work before we moved to Brooklyn, where they have circuit board art, and it reminds me of that. It's from like the 80s, so it's very analog. But it's beautiful, and this reminds me of it. This is fantastic. So if folks want to learn about your artwork or what you do, where could they go to find out about it?
I'll leave a link in the Discord if you like.
All right. Thank you so much, David. Come by as you make more of these. These are great.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming by.
Okay. All right. We're going to go to DigiWiz, and then Flyingthings, and then Mark. DigiWiz, what you got going on?
Hi. I've got a smaller portion of a larger project that I'm working on. I'll just switch cameras to show it. So I'm making an alarm clock based off of the time circuits from Back to the Future.
Oh, neat.
And so this right here is a keypad that I made, the one from the time circuits, where you'll input the date for your alarm in the format month, day, year, hour, and minute, and then it'll show it on the destination time display. But for now, I've got an Adafruit 0.91-inch OLED display to show the destination time for troubleshooting and whatnot.
This is great. There's a theme tonight. We had the Tachyon, we had news from the future from Australia, and now we have Back to the Future alarm clock.
Indeed. So is there a date that you want me to try and input into the keypad?
Yeah, put in 2005, because that's when Adafruit started, January 1st, 2005.
All right.
Nice.
Let's go 12:30 p.m.
Great
And then I have two buttons here, cancel and enter. So if I hit the enter button.
All right.
And then if I look here,
it's good sound effects.
Yep, sure. I ripped about 90% of them from YouTube videos and then just compiled them together in Audacity.
Yeah.
And then I've got a Raspberry Pi as the brain. It's a really old one. It's the Model B from a 2011.
Outstanding. Well, when you go back in time
it's a back in time Raspberry Pi.
When you go back in time, tell past us, just keep doing that thing that we're doing.
Indeed.
All right.
I'll
Thank
be
you so
sure
much,
to do that.
All right, great stuff. And come back when you're finished with the project.
Indeed.
All righty. Let's go to Flying Things, and then we'll wrap up with Mark. Flying Things.
Hi, Flying Things. Good to see you
again. I think I've been messing around with I switched over from a NR52840 to a Raspberry Pi, and I have an audio effect going on. I have like an auto tune. I put it in high-low, and yeah, it definitely. I got it working, and it's definitely like a crappy like auto tune for like music and stuff, but that's what's way too deep. It's making it pretty,
This is great, and I like how the eyes are kind of keeping up with the inflections of your voice.
Yeah,
it's
great.
I have a lot of fun and maybe a little bit dismayed working with Linux audio, but I learned a lot, and it's definitely really interesting. I definitely added it to a portfolio of mine.
It's good to try out. Have you been able to take this to cons and stuff yet, or is this a personal project?
Yeah, this has been a cons, but this latest model with my voice in it, like with the auto tune, has not been to a con yet.
No, that's just like that's a new thing.
Yeah, this is just for Zoom meetings for offices.
Yeah, just for Zoom.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks,
thank you so much for coming by and keep coming by with updates of this project.
Every time I see this outfit, it's like gives me so much joy.
I just like when the eyes blink, the hands go up, and it looks like it's all coordinated and part of it.
It's the acting is really good. It goes great.
Outstanding. All right.
Yeah, follow that up, Mark.
Mark, play us out.
Do the best you can.
I always have to follow him up, and
I know it's like okay.
All right, you're like there's a magnet.
How's the weather?
How's your magnet?
Yeah. So. Really, I just wanted to show it off until it's outside. It actually works now. I just have the plotter showing the direction. It just needs a couple small tweaks because the magnet inside was too large and interfering with now I'm blanking on the term, the spinny thing in the middle.
Yeah.
The bearing. That's it. It's been a long day.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's basically ready to go outside. I've got the anemometer to go with it. And just for anyone wondering, it's like when you're really working on these projects, this is how this one started. So just keep iterating, keep working, and then you get something that works really well.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons we like doing the show and tell is because folks don't get intimidated by, well, here's the end result, the end product or end project. They could see the steps along the way and see it evolve and see the things that go into it. Sometimes you got to change stuff. Sometimes things don't work out. Sometimes you need help. And that's the neat part about this. You can share your work out in the open, and then folks can learn along the way. So thank you so much, Mark. Happy CircuitPython Day. We'll see you around on Friday, I'm sure.
See you guys on Friday.
All right. Thanks so much, Mark. All righty, everybody. That is our show. This is our favorite this week, 30 minutes of the week, every single week. We do show and tell every week, Wednesday nights, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. Now live from Brooklyn. We have moved Adafruit out here, including us. So we will see everybody in just a few minutes on Ask an Engineer. Thanks so much. Come by anytime, any place for show and tell, and Ask an Engineer starts in a few minutes.
5 minutes. We have to go back in time with those tachyons.
Back in time. Yeah, we'll use those tachyons and tell ourselves that this is going to be a good show. Okay, bye, everybody.